We talked about this last week. Like I said, the first few slides on this PowerPoint we already talked about. So I'm going to skip down and try to find where I left off. Okay, I think we'll start right there. So we talked last week about how broadcasting seems to be reaching a tipping point. Let me turn off my drawing tools. And so this was one of the illustrations of what a tipping point might look like that I used before. And so as in the same way that newspapers hit their tipping point about 10 years ago, my belief is that we're hitting a tipping point right now with broadcast TV and cable TV, not just broadcast TV. You might say traditional TV, paid broadcast TV, satellite TV, and cable are all hitting a tipping point as more and more people move to the internet. So I wanted to share a few more slides with you than what I shared last week. Now this one I actually did include last week, but just to remind you, this was a survey done last summer, almost exactly, just a little less than 1 year ago, or a little less than 1 year ago. How likely are you to cancel your pay TV? That means cable, satellite TV, so forth. Not referring to internet TV, but paid offline TV, if you would. And it was, as you recall, in the area of extremely, very, and moderately likely, we have over 21% of the people that seem fairly likely to cancel their pay TV. We had another 20%, almost, that were slightly, and the way these things start, as I mentioned last week, they kind of snowball. As some people do it, they talk to their relatives consider it, they start doing it. So these things can snowball rather quickly. So it would not be a bit surprising to me if we saw a 40% decline on cable TV or pay TV, by early this year, or at least mid-year. Let me put it that way. So about a year from after this was done. So here's a new one. Now this one is showing the decline. This was as of 2014. So this is still a little bit old. This is older than the previous data you saw. But even at that, you see some fairly drastic declines on TV. And again, this looks like it's including both broadcast and cable TV, pay TV, but basically offline TV, if you want to call it that. And so we see even in this one, and let me bring down the control panel a little bit so we can see the bottom. So this first one, we're seeing these in order. So 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. So we see a very steady decline of TV in America. This is in America, but again, the world kind of, the trend begins in America typically and then spreads worldwide in most things. So TV is definitely moving down rather quickly, and this was before the last survey that I showed you. So this could, as I say, kind of with a tipping point, you see suddenly an increase, a rapid increase of something. And so this was a fairly gradual decrease, and the increased decline, if you would, so the increased decrease, if you would, will look like it's picking up steam here. And again, according to that survey we just looked at, could drop rather dramatically in 2015 and now in 2016. We saw similar declines in radio. Print is even more massive declines. Online, we see there's even some, they're considering online, you see there's contrasting online versus mobile. So to them, online would be your PC, and I think they typically include with PC, from the data I've been viewing over the last year or so, when they say online, they're including desktop and laptop. So when they say mobile, they're not including laptops, although a laptop is very mobile. They're not including that. They're including PCs and laptops together as online, and then mobile would be your smart pad and your smartphone. So you see the very dramatic increase, and again, this is just as 2014, a very dramatic increase in the use of mobile, and a kind of corresponding decline in 2013 and 14 of the use of PCs, both again desktop and mobile, and laptop. So we're seeing some interesting trends, but by far the biggest upward trend is the use of mobile, as you see here, skyrocketing, and that is not expected to change. That trend line is expected to keep going until the rest of these disappear. That's what I would say. Is that mobile will continue increasing until almost everything else, maybe not online for a while, but until TV disappears, radio disappears, print disappears. You'll see this upward trend with mobile until they disappear, and then it'll flatten out and level out, so to speak. So those are fairly definitive numbers. My next slide here, again, this is, again, older data actually, but just kind of seeing from a different perspective. This was Q1 of 2010, Q2 of 2010, that's with the zero, or the Q1, 10, so this first quarter, 2010, and then this third quarter of 2013. So again, you see a very steady decline in cable by this chart as well. It's actually older data than what we've already looked at, so I'll go ahead and skip forward, but I just wanted to kind of reemphasize, this is not, in this case, this is I wouldn't call this exactly a tipping point, because this is a steady decline, so it's not a real tip. This year, I think 2015, what we were seeing with the data from last June represents a real tipping point where this is going to start collapsing. As in 2005 for newspapers, or 2006, 2007, in that period of time. I went ahead and put all the text here. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. So Nielsen's, which measures TV viewing in America and many other countries, most recent study indicates that Americans aged 18 to 24 watched a weekly average of almost 16.5 hours of traditional TV during the second quarter of 2015. So they're still watching a lot of TV, but that represents a year-over-year decline of 2 hours and 35 minutes. So the previous year, in 2014, they were watching basically 19 hours of TV. So you see this again is they're still watching a lot of TV, but the trend line is moving very quickly towards less and less TV. I see we're out of time here, aren't we? Well, let me go over this real quickly, and I'll ship this to you. But you see, I'm going to drop down the bottom, a 32% drop off in viewing between 2011 and 2015. So in the space of 4 years, almost 1/3 of this age group's traditional TV viewing time has migrated to other activities. Real quickly to a couple more slides here. At the same time, while they're watching less TV, they're also doing other things at the same. Okay, no, that's not what this one is about. Viewing TV online, so to speak. No, that isn't. Okay, this is what they're doing while they're watching TV. So we're seeing multitasking while people are watching TV. This is an increased trend also. So while they're not necessarily turning off the TV, they're doing all this sort of stuff at the same time. They're surfing the web at the same time. They're shopping while they're doing it. They're checking sports scores. They're basically using, in most cases, their mobile devices. The green is smartphone. The blue is the smart tablet, and they're doing all this sort of stuff at the same time. The question I'm going to put on Facebook is whether you're doing this stuff. I want to know whether you're doing the same sort of stuff as you're watching TV. And similarly, okay, this one is also about multitasking. So it's just kind of a replication of that same same trend. So again, I want to know what you're doing in relation to multitasking during TV time. Here is the reason why a lot of people prefer to watch TV on the internet. So whether it's Hulu or Netflix or YouTube or any of the online TV type services, video services, why do they do it? Prefer to watch on their own schedule. It's more convenient. You can read all these yourself, and I will send this to you. And this, of course, will also be, I'll be uploading the video today also, so you can look at this in more detail when I do that. And again, we're about ending it here, or was that it? Okay, so that was the last one. So people are moving online very quickly. I see a tipping point occurring here that we can't ignore, I don't think. So anyway, that's my further update of what's happening on TV. I will, if anybody has any questions, want to linger, that's fine. Otherwise, I see, some people, you need to go to your other classes and so forth. So thank you for spending this time with us this week. Next week, then we have presentations. Again, let's see, Viola again presents next week, and Dayun also presents next week with the electronic games and with the internet and social media. So have a good week. The week after that is when your next creative project is due. So it's 2 weeks from today, your next creative project is due. So hopefully, if you have any questions on that, need any help with that, let me know. Okay, so thank you. Have a good week, and we will see you next Wednesday.